Welcome everybody. This is Real TC showing you the differences between the M1 and the T-72 and why I think the T-72 was good for its day in the early 70s, but does not even come close to comparing to the M1 in just the early 80s with the 105 on the M1. So, main reasons. 1. Turret traverse. The turret traverse of the M1 trumps the T-72. So I can scan the entire range relatively quickly and change directions. Versus the T-72, it's just not as good. It seems faster just because we're at 8 power magnification for the main gun set. That's also another thing. The M1 has 3 and 10 power on its daylight. This is just straight 8 power. Go back to the M1. Went scanning all the way over there, but here we go. So with 3 power, you're able to sit there, scan on 3, and then shoot on 10. So we have the target all the way out there at 2,100 meters. Not only that, the laser rangefinder is the next point of contention. Laser rangefinder for the M1 is right dead center of the reticle. Wherever you put that center dot, that's exactly what it's measuring. So we got 2,800 all the way out there. We got 1,300. That target is 1,700. And not only that, tracking. To be able to track a moving target with the M1's fire control system, you literally track it, laser, pull trigger, and you hit it. It is literally that simple. And then you dump the Cadillacs that way, you can actually see everything. Versus on the T-72, it has none of that. So, versus on the M1, you laze it, you have the range, the fire control system does everything. This is analog to a degree. You put that red circle wherever you're trying to wherever you're trying to shoot at, you're going to laze it, wait for the reticle to move, and then you can finally fire and hit it. It works, but it's very rudimentary, nowhere near as user-friendly as the M1 is. Or like this moving target. Now I'm gonna guess about that. I got it. But that's me guessing. Versus the M1, there is no guessing. The M1, track, lays, pull trigger, done, dump Cadillacs, you're good to go. It is very simple. Not only that, switching main gun rounds with this on the T-72. Waiting. Oh, there it is, finally, after 300 years. And now we're ready to fire. And see how much the reticle jumped? So we'll laze that target all the way out there. Even though it's almost 3K. Hit it, yes, but the fact that the reticle moves so much, you have to wait for the tank to tell you what range it is. You have to add lead into it. The M1's fire control system blows this one out of the water without even trying. So go back to the M1. The difference is switching ammo types. The M1, we have Sable in the gun right now. Lays it, pull trigger. Got the slip round. I'm a genius. So, see how fast that was for transitioning rounds? Very, very simple. It works. And whether you're lasing at 1,000 meters or 2,600 meters, doesn't care. The reticle stays centered in the gun sight, which is something that helps out immensely. Another point of contention on the tanks is the fact on the M1 we have thermals. Even though this is made to mimic the thermals of the 1980s, I can definitely tell you the modern ones are clearer-ish, not much better, because because at 2,100 meters, 2,100 meters is a slightly cleaner picture. Not by much. On the real tank. Of course, the only tanks I was on was the M1A2 7V2. But that's another thing with the M1. You have thermals, and it's so... We have all the targets easily popping up. You're just looking for hot spots. That's it. That's all it is. Nice and simple. Versus... I'll have to switch to nighttime. Versus the passive infrared on a T-72 is maybe good out to 1,000 meters. If that. And you can only use it at night. So that means during the day, you're kind of just stuck with the daylight gun sight, a terrible laser rangefinder. Just the T-72 just does not compare to the M1. Not even to include the armor on the M1, as the video I just put out recently, showing that I had to hit an M1 several times in the side of the turret, side of the hull to kill the thing. Versus an M1 will smoke a T-72 through the frontal armor at 3,000 meters. Like, they don't even compare. Albeit it's a bit due to the really nice depleted uranium sable round that the M1 has, which I'll go into rounds on the American tanks at a later date. It's just, I can understand why people like the T-72 when it comes down to it and actually using the T-72. It makes a good target. That's about it. Thank you for listening to my ramblings on today about the difference between the M1 and the T-72. You have a nice day.